what they call, quote unquote, World War I was about the elimination of monarchies and oil. Now, the colonizing hostiles, they went after a different set of monarchs, ours, earlier, much earlier. They came in with superior force of arms and navies. They took down our Hennies. They took down our Faris, our Bur-Faris, our Molaodis, our Komo-Nkonzis. You have well over 2,000 languages and dialects on the mother continent. And they all have a different word, or most of them have a different word for what some would call monarch or king or emperor. So in Mendi, Bey is king. They came in with superior force of arms and overtook our monarchs there. They're not even mentioned. If you look on lists these days for monarchs on any particular search on a search engine, they will show you the Caucasian monarchs and a few melanated monarchs. Basically none, except for maybe two, from the Alkebu-lan and the Ab.Zu. On this side of the ocean, we had monarchs. They called themselves Sakama. Sakama on this side is Sekem on the other side of the ocean on the mother continent. Sekem Bawantua, paramount leader. Over here, they show you they had a war council. They had the mother's council. And they had the leader who wore all the feathers. That leader's a monarch. They never mentioned them as monarchs. They used the French word chief. They weren't chiefs. They didn't use the term. When you see one of our kith and kindred here using that term, they're telling you that they're lying. You won't find that word, quote unquote, chief in any language aboriginal unto this landmass. They're playing the role. They're playing the game. Been telling folks for almost 27 Earth years, actually almost 28. You cannot use the word, quote unquote, Indian. And anyone telling you that they're from a quote unquote recognized quote unquote tribe or nation just told you that they are regulated and they're operating by way of a charter that they don't even control. So they're operating basically in corporations. That's not an independent sovereign nation. On this side of the ocean, anyone doing that is acknowledging that they are literally the property of Charles III that he uses as collateral for central bankers who control his central bank. He also has to pledge them as fealty to the Vatican. So they're the intellectual property of the Vatican, the physical property of Charles III. Literally because they are the co-business partner of a quote-unquote straw man. If you sue one partner, you've sued them all. So the physical being is the co-business partner of the piece of paper because parties contract into that mental retardation. They are literally the franchisees of the franchise that is of the franchisor, now Charles III. Didn't start with Charles III, he inherited it. This started with George III. They've been running the longest con ever. And our kith and kindred, they run around talking mental retardation out of their mouth all day long on social media. And y'all tell me about it over and over and over. I see it in the reports over and over and over. It's not our business. It's not our fight. That's their business. There's plenty of information out there. If folks choose not to investigate it, that's on them. That is a them problem. I love them. However, we got to plot and navigate the course of our own ship. They want to run aground? We cannot make them not do that. And since most don't talk to us, they run the other way, and for good reason. because their nonsense does not hold up when we come through. The lies they tell themselves and the lies they tell to those who don't know what question to ask them, so they can basically be in their pockets, because they'll tell you it's about nation building, and it is not. This is their hustle. That's how they eat. If it was about nation building, you see the evidence. If you're on social media saying the same thing for decades, if you've been around before social media for decades and don't have anything independent operational underway on either side of the ocean or both like we do, you're a fraud. And parties are going to find this out eventually. They're going to figure this out eventually. In the meantime, they're going to continue to get nowhere very fast with quote-unquote UCC, mental retardation. It's the Uniform Commercial Code. Is it your code? Did you write it? Is it for your jurisdiction and venue? Or is it back to Charles III because he owns it? They don't bother to ask the question. Parties don't know language. They don't know arenas. So they don't know arena comprehension, and they pay for it. Some of them walk around with fezzes on, and they make our job harder because folks get burned listening to their mental retardation, and they think that anyone that wears a fez thinks, acts, and speaks the same way. We do not. And I'm tired of having to clean up their mess. This is where it is. This is what it is. And parties, they talk a lot of nonsense. They talk mental retardation. They can't stand on it. They talk it. They can't build anything, and they don't build anything from what they're talking. Who wins? Who wins? Not our kith and kindred just waking up and looking for guidance, direction, and support. So they get burned. Didn't happen by osmosis. It happened by design. And it's part of the mess that we have been forced to have to clean up as we bring our folks into the modern golden era of the Moors.